Hi guys and welcome to my kitchen. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make naan bread. Okay, so for this recipe we are going to make 8 naan breads. In a separate bowl we're going to put 2 teaspoons of yeast, which is approximately half a packet of the 10 gram packets, and we're going to put it to one side of the bowl. On the other side we're going to put 2 teaspoons of sugar. We don't want the yeast and the sugar to mix just yet. Okay, then we are going to add in half a cup of lukewarm water. It's very important that the water is not too hot and not too cold. Okay, and we're going to mix the yeast and the sugar until it just about dissolves. So it looks like this, and now we're going to let this stand for about 5 minutes so that the yeast can activate. While we are waiting for that to happen, I'm going to preheat my oven to about 100 degrees just for a few minutes, and that is because I'm creating a nice warm space for the naan to rise in. In a separate mixing bowl I'm going to put 3 cups of flour, and then 1.5 teaspoons of salt, about 2 tablespoons of oil, and a half a cup of plain yogurt. I like to use the double cream yogurt, but feel free to use full cream, that works just as well. Then I've also got some extra lukewarm water on standby, because you'll find that on colder days your dough might be a bit dry as opposed to warmer days where your dough might be a bit too sticky. So when it is too sticky you just add more flour. If it's too dry you will just add more water. Just switch off my oven. You can feel it should be nice and warm, not too hot. And my yeast mixture should have created like a little skin, an extra layer on top. So if I just tilt like this, you can see that it can sort of separate the liquidy part at the bottom and the layer that has now developed on top. Right, so we're going to add this into the flour, yogurt, oil and salt mixture, and we are just going to knead with our hands. Okay, so you can see the ball is now starting to form, but it is still slightly sticky. Okay, that's the texture that you want for your dough. And now I'm going to make a nice ball with the dough that's covered in oil. And I'm going to leave it to rise in the oven covered for 40 minutes to an hour. Okay, so while the naan dough is rising, I'm going to quickly make a garlic butter. It's literally just butter and fresh garlic that I'm going to grate on the fine side of the grater. You can add parsley if you want as well. If it's unsalted butter you can add some salt. It's all to your preference. Okay, and then I am going to pop this into the microwave just until the butter is melted. Give it a stir. And my garlic butter is now done. Okay, so it's been just over 40 minutes and I've removed my naan from the oven, and as you can see it has just about doubled in size. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this plastic. I'm going to knock it down and just give it a quick minute knead. Okay, so after kneading for about a minute, you can see you've got a nice smooth soft dough that is slightly sticky, but not as sticky as it was before it went into the oven. I'm going to flour half my surface and I'm going to divide the dough into 8 pieces. So I usually take the dough first, I halve it, and then quarters, and then eighths. Then what I do to get nice balls, I'm going to drop each eighth into my flour, and then I'm just going to gently fold it into one side, pinch it together, and create a smooth round ball of dough, like such. Right, so now in order to prevent them from drying out, I'm just going to move them a bit closer together and use the same plastic just to keep them covered. Okay? Right, so I'm going to flour my surface. Take a ball of dough. If you feel that it's still a bit sticky, you can just add some flour. I'm going to press it down with my hand. And now we are going to roll. Now when we're rolling, we don't want to roll it too thin. Okay? So I'd say about 3 millimeters thick or so. Just make sure that it's evenly rolled out. Right, then I'm going to make sure that my pan is nice and hot. Okay, so I've got my pan nice and warm. And I'm going to put my naan bread into the pan. And now we are just going to leave it until bubbles start forming on the top. Okay, so the bubbles are starting to form on the top, but we wait. And you can see that the dough is getting a bit thicker as well. At this point, the bottom of the bread, as you can see, it's got a few specks of brown, right? So we still leave the pan on, but if you've got one of these, right, and I start with the edges. And you can see how the dough is puffing up. So now you can switch off your stove. And when you are happy with the color you see, that's that. Okay, so if you check the bottom now, it's got more color. Okay, so we're going to take it out. And because it puffed up so nicely, it would have created that pocket that I was referring to earlier. And then we just take some of our garlic butter and we're going to spread it over the naan. It smells really nice. This is obviously best enjoyed when it's straight from the pan, but if you are making quite a few and you're not going to eat it right away, then what I suggest you do is take another piece of wax paper or lunch wrap, put it on the top, and use a plate or pot lid or anything just to seal in the heat.